So, why does China claim Taiwan? This island nation that it has, in fact, never actually ruled? It's got to be one of the most tangled, high-stakes questions in the world today, and we're going to try and unravel it.
Okay, let's just jump right in. On one side, you have the official claim from the People's Republic of China. Taiwan is an inalienable part of China. Simple enough. But then on the other side, you have this cold, hard fact. The PRC has never, not for a single day, actually governed Taiwan. And that's the central puzzle we're digging into.
The best way to think about this claim isn't as one single thing. It's more like a giant tangled knot. And if we want to understand it, we've got to be patient and pull on each of those threads: history, law, and politics, one by one.
So first up, let's pull on that historical thread. This piece of the puzzle is all about a story, a narrative of succession. Basically, who gets to be China? All right, this timeline is where things get really interesting. Back in 1895, the Qing dynasty in China gives Taiwan to Japan. 50 years later, 1945, Japan loses World War II, and the Republic of China, the ROC, takes over Taiwan. But then, just 4 years later, a civil war explodes. The communists win, creating the People's Republic of China on the mainland, and the old ROC government escapes to Taiwan. Notice the timing? PRC wasn't even a thing yet when Taiwan was handed back.
And that brings us to Beijing's side of the story. Their argument is pretty simple on the surface. Hey, Taiwan belonged to China. Japan took it, then it was given back to China in 1945. We are the new China, so it's ours. Sounds logical, right? But there's a huge catch.
And this is the catch. The group that actually took control of Taiwan back in 45 was the ROC, the very government the communists defeated in the Civil War. So for the PRC's entire historical argument to work, you have to believe one thing, that they, and only they, are the one true legitimate successor to all the Chinas that came before.
Okay, so the history is messy, to say the least. What about the law? Well, that brings us to the second strand in our knot, and this one is all about how you read old international agreements. So legally, Beijing points to these two declarations from World War II, Cairo and Potsdam. They say these documents clearly state that Taiwan should be returned to China. And no surprise here, whenever they read the word China, they see themselves, the PRC.
But here's where it gets really murky. The main legal treaty here is the San Francisco Peace Treaty from 1951. This is where Japan officially gave up its claim to Taiwan. But the treaty is famous for what it doesn't say. It never actually names who Taiwan should go to. It's just left hanging. And to make it even more complicated, neither the PRC nor the ROC were even there to sign it. This legal black hole is a huge reason this debate is still raging today.
We've looked at history. We've looked at law. But honestly, the toughest, most unyielding strand in this whole knot is politics. This is about deep-seated ideology and raw national strategy. And at the absolute center of it all is one single, overriding idea.
The One China principle. For Beijing, this is not just some policy preference, it's a sacred, core belief. It's baked into the very identity of the modern Chinese state and the legitimacy of the Communist Party.
So why is this principle so critical for them? Well, you can break it down into three big reasons. First, party legitimacy. Bringing Taiwan into the fold is sold as the final victory in the Civil War, proof of the party's strength. Second, domestic stability. The idea of national unification is a powerful tool to rally people and stoke nationalism at home. And third, maybe most importantly, it's a geopolitical game changer.
And when we say keystone, we mean it. Look at a map. Taiwan is like a cork in a bottle for China's navy. Control it and you have open access to the Pacific. Plus, it's home to TSMC, the company that makes almost all of the world's most advanced computer chips. For Beijing, the strategic value is just off the charts.
All right, so we've untangled the threads of history, law, and politics. Now let's just loop all the way back to that simple, powerful fact we started with.
When you push aside all the stories, the legal debates, and the political speeches, this chart just lays out the plain reality on the ground. For 50 years, Japan was in charge. Since 1945, the Republic of China has been. And the People's Republic of China? Since it was founded in 1949, its actual governance record over Taiwan is 0.
This chart does a great job of showing what this claim is really made of, right? The historical narrative and legal arguments are the public face, the justification. But look at what's really driving this thing. The biggest piece, by far, is political ideology, powered by cold, hard geopolitical strategy.
This is a claim that comes more from a vision for the future than from any history of actual rule.
And so that's what we're left with. It's this fundamental clash. On one side, you have an incredibly powerful claim built on a national story. And on the other, you have a reality that's been defined by over 70 years of separate rule. The huge question is, which one of these forces is going to win out and shape the future?